I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We're joined by Crystal Breaker, or Flood. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, everybody. My name is Crystal Breaker, again, Flood. I'm still relatively new to this whole VTubing industry, and honestly, I am thankful that you've had me on today.
Oh, well, I mean, I have folks with starters, people who've already finished, and everybody in between. It's very interesting to hear where people come from, what they want to do with it, and how they came about doing it. So I get to ask you that question. How did you get started, and why?
Well, it's actually the craziest story.
Mhm.
I started back in 2020 because at that time, I had first started seeing like the channel Gura, and I just thought, oh my god, that'd be so fun to do. And one of my favorite series ever is Pacific Rim, and at that time, Pacific Rim: The Black had just released on Netflix, and I was thinking holy shit, what if I just make my own kaiju?
Yeah.
And over time, I have molded that into what is now Crystal Breaker.
Cool. Excellent. So you were brought in by the shark.
Sorry, repeat that. You cut out.
I said you were brought in by the shark and hooked into it with Gura.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and so what kind of is it? The chance to entertain people? Is it the chance to play games and interact with folks? What is the biggest pull for you as far as VTuber goes?
The biggest thing about me in creating this stuff is that it's not only a place where I am able to use my mind and imagination to create it, but at the same time, though, it's if other people want to be able to create off of it as well, so they can get inspiration and all too.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously the basic make entertainment for people to have a good time and forget what's going on out in the real world.
Yeah. So, have you a person who've always wanted to entertain folks, or is this a chance? Have you always wanted to be an entertainer, or is this something that's come on a little bit later?
Oh, I definitely want to be an entertainer of sorts. To me, it definitely seems really interesting to do that because I see a lot of media, and I always keep a lot track, and just there's a lot of negativity in any media outlet, no matter where you look now, and it's just I want to hopefully be that kind of source somewhere that people can go to and not have to deal with that negativity or drama.
Yeah. It's hard to find. It's hard to find. Even folks who try to do it that way, it tends to find them.
It tends to find them a lot of the time, and I'm gonna definitely try my best to avoid the kind of drama. But if it's inevitable, then there's not really much you could do,
Yeah, that's true. But you're having fun with it, though. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And
yeah, definitely.
And your intention is to have fun with it and have other people have fun with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what if I tune into one of your streams? What am I watching? What are you usually doing?
Well, I normally do a kind of like a variety of games. Sometimes I'll do first-person shooters. Maybe I'll just say screw it, we're gonna do a Rainbow Six Siege stream,
Yeah.
and just goof around and have a good time. Or I'll do maybe story games. The few I've been recently doing is Sallyface and Maneater, and Maneater is just one of my most favorite games. And it's overall really fun to do, especially when people in my community come together and chat as well.
Okay.
It's really fun to do.
All right. Maneater is what?
Maneater is actually a shark game, as given the title. you basically get to play as a bull shark going through its own life cycle.
Mm.
Eventually having to defeat the main boss. His name he goes by like Scaly Pete.
Huh.
But during it, you get to do all these crazy upgrades and just it's really fun. I definitely would recommend it.
Oh, I know.
And it also has.
Is that the one where you go around smashing boats and eating people?
Yep.
Okay, I have seen that one then. Yeah, that does look like a lot
and they
of fun.
also. Oh yeah, and they also have a lot of really good like shark facts and information. Of course, besides the power ups you get, like your entire body just produces electricity. It's really spot on with how sharks can be.
Yeah, the sure, you don't hear about a lot of people being electrocuted by sharks though.
Yeah. Surprisingly, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Usually they get to you with the front part first before they have to worry about anything like
Oh yeah. Normally they get to the front part and then they zap you.
Yeah. Well, watching that, I saw some folks playing that some time ago, and they jump up on land to eat people.
Oh yeah, that's honestly one of the best parts of the game.
Yeah.
It's also one of the most struggles. There was a singular part. There's a singular kind of bug that I love is that if you hit the boat at the right angle, you can just send it flying. And I have multiple clips of me just like concentrating, and the next thing you know, off goes a speedboat just zooming into the air.
That would
And
make
it's just like, oh, okay, that happened.
that would make watching boats out on the ocean so much more fun. Not being in the boat,
yeah.
but watching them would be so much fun. Oh, there
Oh
you go.
yeah. Being in the boat, it's flinging out onto the shore and hitting people. That would not be fun.
Well, yeah, maybe if you had a parachute, it wouldn't be too bad. But
Maybe.
yeah. But the other game you were talking about, I haven't heard at all.
Oh, Sally Face. It's Have you ever heard of the game like a Little Misfortune, like Frambeau?
Oh yeah, I watched that. Yes, yeah, Misfortune.
Yeah, it's kind of like a style. It's one of those style of games.
Mm.
It's a 2D exploration kind of game that focuses around like the paranormal and like cult following of the small town that you're in and like the hotel. It's a really fun little game. It could also get really disturbing at times. Like there's one part of the game, chapter like 3, where you're at the school and like this school in the town does like this bologna day every week, right?
Right.
But the thing is that they were making bologna out of human flesh.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound like the 70s.
Yeah.
When I was
It definitely it's not for the faint of heart. But I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's seen it.
That does sound like fun. Is that one of those games that you can go off to different endings, or does it kind of herd you to one ending?
It definitely does kind of hurt. It definitely does hurt you towards one ending.
Yeah.
At least last I knew, there was only one ending to it.
Yeah.
Because of course, with it being like a story style game, it's all just one laid down path.
Yeah, but that's good enough for you. I mean, you've played it over and over again, haven't you?
Oh, what is it? This is my first time playing it, but
Oh.
I've definitely watched other bigger content creators like Markiplier, for example, play it,
Yeah.
and it's definitely a game I always wanted to get my hands on.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some of those games that just get too you just absolutely have to grab it and play it eventually.
Oh yeah.
Go through it yourself. For one reason, because it looks so good on the screen. Secondly, because you think you can do better.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh god, I've had so many things with that. Like, what is it? Again, one of the other games I play is like Rainbow Six Siege, and like I always see a lot of content creators trying to do things, and I'm just like, they're doing these complex setups, and they're like, oh, during the pre-phase or whatever, and it's like, you guys forget that like you can do this really like there's a whole better way of doing this,
Yeah.
and B, you only get like 30 seconds before the attackers are already busting down the door.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. What do you now? You weren't in their chats backseating, were you?
Oh no, definitely
No,
not.
no, no.
I
Don't do
don't
that.
I don't do that kind of backseating stuff. If I ever see something like it, in my opinion, I the another thing is like with gaming, in my opinion, is that everyone has their own way of doing things. You
Oh yeah,
know, that giving tips and all that's definitely helpful, but if like you know a better way, or like if a way works better for you, don't like backseat. Just agree to disagree
mhm,
with it and move along. You know.
yeah. There's especially some of these games that don't have a one specific ending. Um, if you backseat too much on that, you're just kind of steering them to your ending instead of letting them find their own. It
Yeah, yeah.
yeah it
Like BioShock, for example, is one of those bigger ones I
mhm,
can think of. You know,
yeah
like if the person themselves are not choosing the choices that they want, but instead the choices that you're giving them and you did, you're
yeah
just leading them to the same ending you got.
right right. Well, I like the Fallout series for one. I mean,
Oh yeah,
there's lots of different endings and mixes of endings you can get, but if you just steer one person through, you're going to get the same ending every time. Um,
exactly. And it's just like the whole point of a lot of these games that I think a lot of people lost is that games are meant to be gone through multiple times and you do whatever you want. There's like again Fallout, there's so many options that you can choose
yeah.
that you can just play whenever you like.
Oh yeah. I went through the highest I could get on my computer at the time was New Vegas. I got three in New Vegas on there, and that's pretty much all I needed because I kept going through them over and over again. Different builds, different. I knew where a trap was going to be, so I'd avoid it the next time, or I try to figure out some way
Yeah,
to or just explore the whole
yeah.
map because there's always something you never found the first time around. Um,
Oh yeah.
and then you can cheat. You can always cheat. There's always cheating.
Another actually one of those games that I really enjoy is like Borderlands. The
mm,
Borderlands series has like one definitive ending,
yeah,
but the RNG and like traps and all that kind of stuff are all just can be so unique
yeah,
that I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. It's good to have series like that or ones that you can still go back to and enjoy. I think they're trying to do that manually now by adding things to the games. Like Fallout added different side quest type things to their games, and Fallout London is basically an entire fan created thing. Or
Oh really?
yeah, or like you see folks playing the gotcha games like Genshin Impact that are like 40
Mhm.
years old, but they keep adding extensions to it, and people keep playing it. Um, it,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's a lot easier for them than creating a whole new engine that people may not like. Um, just do more of the
And I think
same.
on I think another thing too is that that's what a lot more like gamers and just overall people appreciate. Because now you have like a lot of these AAA developers trying to come out with like Black Ops 6 and GTA 6. It's
Hmm.
just like it's not as enjoyable as it was before, you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah, yeah. There's
as their
nothing.
predecessors.
There's not a lot new you can do with it um, as far as engine goes. I mean, you can probably do little tweaks here and there, but it tends to be the same game, different city when you get to that
Yeah,
sort
you
of
know,
thing.
like Black Ops 6. I know that for a while, a lot of people, the only reason why people really liked it is because of the zombies mode and how different it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, like multiplayer and all that, it's all just the same exact thing. But you have a different movement
Mm,
now, and
yeah.
that's about all.
Yeah. And these some of these other games they put you can twist it around a little bit and find different. Fallout can do that with different areas and different zones and that type of thing and time areas. They can do that because they have a whole world to deal with. Some of these places, some of these games are very limited in what they can do to expand. It was made to be beginning, middle, end. That makes it a little more tougher to play through, I think.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree there. That's just That just doesn't really make much sense to me, you know? Like, there's a few games I could probably make exceptions for, like Halo or like
Mm,
Titanfall, you know,
yeah.
because the story's actually good.
Hmm.
But like, if you just have just the plain story and nothing really else to it, and like, what is it? One of the reasons, actually, another reason why like Sally Face is so popular as well,
Hmm.
is because the lore that comes with it.
Hmm.
In some games and studios just completely forget to add the depth to
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't have that, you're just might as well be playing a board game. You don't have that kind of surrounding um, imagination that goes along with that. You get a why things are the way they are. Um,
Mhm.
Instead of just, oh, this is a mutant. Here you go. Well, how do they
Oh
become
yeah,
mutants?
it's just like that one meme audio. It's just, hey Tony, give me a cheese with nothing. You know.
Yeah. Here you go, cheese with nothing.
It's just nothing.
But
But no.
well, with this, with this, there's good and bad with it. I mean, you're going to get more games that make you go back and buy the original game in order to play. But and
Hmm.
but those are obviously going to be good games because they've lasted that long.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like one of the things that confuses me the most with games and all that is like Fortnite in itself. And
Mhm.
like the thing is that like Fortnite can do so many changes and they keep adding stuff. Like they just added that basically what is it? Counterside
Mhm.
to their game, and it's like that's in itself is really interesting.
Well,
But people are not going there just for that. They go there for the actual game still, and it's like that like I know Fortnite gets a lot of shit, but the devs really do a good job when it comes to their game.
oh, they put out a lot of effort into it, and the people who are really into it. I've got a coworker that plays every day, and,
Oh
and
yeah.
and she knows exactly where everything is. But the events and the stuff, they've created a community, they've created a world basically. Um,
They've created this kind of alternating lore, and
yeah,
it's so interesting to figure out like what time are you in now, and it's also really interesting to see a lot of these collaborations come together and work in the same world, like with the recent Hasane Miku and Godzilla.
yeah,
It's just like you never think those two would work in the same world, and then Fortnite does it.
yeah, yeah. Well,
But then
adding,
at the same time, you also have to remember that one anime about trains that was just really weird.
yeah, that's true. Well, you had Hatsune Miku do something, and you automatically get people coming to it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
yeah, it's like you can put it on a slice of bread and people will buy it for triple the price. Um, but you get also the realization that if they just stuck with the original game and not done anything to it, people wouldn't be playing it at all now. And I don't think.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you still,
Oh no, yeah, because the original game it was meant to be like a zombie survival, and then they decided to add a Royale, and the
yeah,
Royale took off so much thanks to popular streamers and all that that it just keeps climbing and climbing in popularity.
yeah. They took out the building, which I think a lot of people either
Well,
really liked or
no,
hated.
there's still building modes.
Yeah, I mean that the structures, um, where they you'd have you tear down a wall and build something, that type of thing. Um, they took that out. They brought some back old school stuff. They've been able to keep it fresh enough to keep it going, and
Yeah.
you got to give them a lot of credit for that because that's some forward thinking there. And they haven't had to come out with a new. I don't even want to know what a Fortnite 2 would be.
Oh yeah, no, a Fortnite 2 that would be just insane. But at the same time, like I personally think that wouldn't even really be possible
Yeah,
because it's kind of just like the situation with Overwatch though. It's literally just all they could do is just take the same game and slap the number 2 in front of it and call it a day.
yeah. Change everything slightly. Change the colors of it and put a 2 on it.
Exactly, and that's basically what happened with Overwatch, and
Yeah.
that's honestly like with the recent rise of Marvel Rivals, I'm really happy that Overwatch is just kind of falling off
Yeah.
because it's just right off the bat, Overwatch has always had that really toxic community around it,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
and just after the whole change with Overwatch 2, a lot of people were just pissed off. Since if I remember correctly, a lot of skins and all kinds of different things just never transferred over, and it's just like,
Right.
why?
Why did I spend all this money and then spend it again? I don't understand.
Exactly. Like, why did I spend all this money just to lose it all?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's actually what's going on with Smite recently as well. I have a friend who loves to play it,
Mhm.
and apparently in Smite 2, none of your stuff is going to be able to transfer.
Oh, geez. That would be so maddening if you spent a whole lot of time and money on it and then you can't do anything with it. That's no.
Oh yeah,
No, that would
that
not fly.
Oh yeah, that I'm pretty positive. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's not breaking any laws, but it feels like that it should be, you know?
Well, the market will take care of it for sure
Oh yeah,
far as that goes.
definitely.
Well, and you also look at a game that comes out in flops, but they keep working on it and salvage it. Like I say, No Man's Sky is like that.
Oh
Um,
yeah, No Man's Sky and even the like Battlefield
mhm.
when the Battlefield game dropped. Oh my God, it was horrendous.
Yeah.
But even like the Russian Badger, he even went back to it and said like they did a lot of changes and it is like a really good game now.
Yeah, yeah. They worked on it because I think No Man's Sky you had a chance to do it because it's just potentially so vast that you could still work with a lot of things and come up with it. And people now who play it keep playing it, and that's good.
Hmm.
And with the other games, you might be a little more limited in what you can do, but um, I think it's better than throwing it all in the dustbin. If you have a good concept and it just didn't go well, keep working on it till the concept works.
Hmm.
And you,
Yeah, like one of the games with that actually, the only thing that on my mind when thinking about stuff like that is like GTA. It's
yeah,
one of those games where you don't think that like it can have a lot of creativity to it until you realize that the devs that the people were wanted to try to make their own maps and races, and the devs actually added a system encouraging the people to do so, which was never seen in
yeah.
other GTA games.
Oh no, no, no. It was very enclosed in the past, and that and there's other games where the developers are allowing people to modify things and keep that game alive because they're still selling the game. It people are still buying it. They don't have to come up with the mods themselves. They're not responsible for the mod. Something happening to the mod. But it keeps the game going and alive in people's minds and in their computers or
Yeah,
consoles.
another good one with that is Path of Titans.
Hmm.
I personally only really ever play it with friends, but like Path of Titans is one of those games that although every time an update comes out, the mods kind of break and all that,
Hmm.
the developers actively encourage and try to work around and with the mods themselves
Hmm.
because the mods have added so many kind of dinosaurs that just the game devs haven't been able to add themselves, and that personally is like really amazing to me to see that.
Yeah, that kind of forward thinking is rare in the business world.
Oh yeah.
Um, but it's allowed these games to um, improve in ways that maybe they didn't think of, but continue and continue, people come back to it and buy it or buy more things to continue playing the game, and that means it's how much ever money you spent on it, whether it was new on Steam or uh, discounted 95%, you still got your money's worth out of it at
Oh
the
yeah.
end. And that's I just think we're going to see more of that in the future, more than um, I mean, we're still going to see like Final Fantasy 27 or whatever,
Uh,
They've
Final
got,
Fantasy games. I always hear about how good the Final Fantasies are, but there's
mm,
just so many of them at this point
yeah.
where it's just like I'm not going to even try to get into it or understand it because what the hell?
Yeah, and it jumps all over the place, and the numbers don't work, and I don't know, it just and it's not really my type of game to start with, um,
Oh,
but to watch other people play it, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. It's
mhm.
there's you can sometimes have too much lore in a game, and if you're on the 20th version of something, and you carried it from the first one, and you when you get new people involved, that's pretty tough.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely be tough. It's like almost as if saying like, oh, every Battlefield game was connected, and to understand the newest game, you have to go back and play 1942, and it's like, no, no.
No, I'm not doing that again. No, I'm not doing that. These days, is there a game that you're waiting to come out that you haven't that you're really wanting to stream?
Honestly, Doom Dark Ages. It's one of the newer ones, but I have played. I didn't play the older Dooms.
Mm-hmm.
I played from Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. I actually recently just got the Fallen Gods DLCs,
Mm-hmm.
but I love the Doom series. It's actually one of the only games that like I've actually really been focused in on the lore, and it's so interesting too because thanks to that I learned that like Fallout and Wolfenstein are somehow connected to the modern Doom series.
Yeah, and yeah, it really is. And it's funny that they threw those in those connections. As I remember, the first the OG Doom, and people were just going in there, and heck, I didn't know where you were supposed to go. I just grabbed things and shot things. It was fun enough, and you can enjoy it on that level. But you can also enjoy it as a storyline now as it's progressed. Um,
Oh yeah,
and
and that's just like the best part about it.
yeah, yeah. So that's coming out when?
It should be coming out soon. They already I think it said May.
Mm,
But I already have the pre-order
mm,
installed
yes,
because it's coming to the Game Pass.
yes. So be ready, be ready. Flood will have it, and you
Oh
will
yeah.
see it on the channel. Um, Other types of games that you're streaming right now, or is there one that you haven't been able to get on yet?
Well, I did recently get Cult of the Lamb and Night in the Woods.
Mm,
And I definitely want to plan to stream those. But another game that like I enjoy playing sometimes, but haven't gotten to streaming yet is Dead by Daylight.
mm,
It's mainly because I love the game and I love the killers. Like my personal favorite is obviously the Xenomorph. I love him. But the issue I have with the game is a lot of the players. It's mostly from well, at least what me and my friends have noticed. Players that have the TTV in their name. They
mm.
are always the kind of players that are just annoying to deal with. It ruins the entire fun of the game. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. Again, when you're relying on people you don't know to do a game. Um,
It's really difficult.
yeah, it's really difficult. It reminds me of, I try to do an online class, and you're on an online class, and you get a group assignment with people that you've never met and will never will, and probably will never talk to. You end up doing the whole group assignment yourself because you can't rely on anybody else. You don't want to do that in a game that you spent money for.
Yeah. It's basically just like you. It's really weird since like everyone knows their objective. Everyone knows the objective, but the thing
Mm.
is that everyone's way of doing it is so different that sometimes in a lobby you'll be the only one on the generator actually trying to escape while everyone else is hiding or doing the other strats that normally work for them.
So they're waiting
So
on you, and you're waiting on them.
Exactly. It's just like, yeah, I have a friend who basically has the attitude in that game of either we all get out or none of us gets out. And honestly, I can understand where it comes from
Mhm.
because it's just we all need to rely on each other. And if one of us slacks off, then everyone else gets screwed up.
I would get in that game and I'd just be hung on a hook over and over and over and over again.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. That was basically me. I was basically kind of what is it? My friends were always like, "Oh, I'm gonna do running builds or fixing builds." I was like, "I'm just gonna kind of do whatever the hell
Yeah,
I can."
yeah,
Um, my build was mostly fixed towards it was fixed towards like me being able to hide and distract the killer, but at the same time, if needed, fix like my toolboxes and get back on a generator.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then get hung on a hook. That's it,
And then get hung on a hook.
it's
Yeah,
just going to happen eventually. You're going to get hung on at least one hook.
at least one.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's a game where you don't get hung, but it's just like, oh, the killer, the person playing the killer has to just sometimes be like real. I just you have to be lucky.
or they
It's
have
like,
to be really horrible.
oh yeah, I've had some games where like I hide in a bush and it's obvious I'm there, and the killer will look right at me but run right past me, and it's like, what? Huh?
Hold up a
Like
sign.
what? How did?
Hold up, a sign. I'm in the bush.
It's just after they leave, you just pop up like, the fuck? Huh? Is this real?
Yeah, okay, well, I'll just go this way then. Don't mind me.
Oh no, yeah, that's been me. It's just, well, I'm gonna go this way now. Don't mind me.
That's right. So, if you got a chance to do one of those games that the chat gets involved in, where I mean, Cult of the Lamb has this. I've seen it, where the chat will get prompts to vote to help you or hinder you in something coming up. Have you ever thought of doing something like that?
Honestly, I knew games like Garlic Phone
Mm.
existed, and like that would I thought would always be fun to do. But like, if Call of the Lamb is coming up with something like that, yeah, I would honestly love to do that since it's just like that. One thing I also really enjoyed having the chat interact with each other as
Mm.
well.
Yeah,
So to have them all discussing and deciding what to do is really fun.
yeah, yeah. It does get them involved, and hopefully they don't continually destroy you.
Oh yeah, it's just like hopefully they choose a couple of nice things, and it's just no, that's an atomic bomb. Okay, guys.
Do they get to have the atomic bomb, or do they get to eat the atomic bomb? One of the two. Both.
Yeah, do I get to use the atomic bomb on the enemy over there, or do I have to eat this atomic bomb with a fork and a knife like Gary's mod?
There you go, fork and knife every time.
And it's just kaboom.
So how are you getting along with your chat? What type of relationship do you have with them?
My chat's pretty okay. Not always there a lot of the time, and I don't blame that.
Hmm.
Everyone has their own life,
Hmm.
busy, and again, I'm still roughly starting out, not even really affiliate yet. Actually, not affiliate at all, but
Mm.
I'm trying slowly just to get there, and that takes time, But
Mm.
my chat, whenever it is active, everyone's really kind and nice, and I really enjoy hanging out with everyone in there.
Yeah, that's cool. So what do you have some goals set for this year?
Well, the main goal for this year is just to at least reach affiliate. And another thing is hopefully to get a PC. Right now I'm just streaming from like my Xbox. Even this call is on my headset on my Xbox.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so I hopefully want to do that, but just like my main issue stopping me right now from like the whole PC thing is like I've been trying my best to get a job,
Yeah,
but just ain't no one contacting me back, and it's struggling.
and definitely. Sometimes it's struggling when you do have the job. I can tell you that for a fact. It don't always
Yeah.
get easier, youngster. Uh, the one thing
But no, yeah.
I tell the wife, I said, I'm getting closer to retirement. I said that then you can go ahead and off me like you watch those shows.
I'm
Just
getting closer to retirement,
uh,
honey. No, the hell.
yeah, you can go ahead and knock me off then, and then you can get all the life insurance. It's fine. Just no pain. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. No, it's great to talk with you, and obviously you're just getting things started, but it sounds like you got a good attitude to it, and you're
Oh yeah,
obviously
definitely.
and you're enjoying yourself, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I like the one thing that I notice with people is that they get disheveled whenever people don't show up, and it's like, it's understandable.
Hmm.
But the thing is that I think that a lot of people just set themselves of too high of expectations, and they don't set it low. Like even if you have like one chat, like one person in the chat, that is still going somewhere, and
Hmm.
eventually that number will start rising. But
Yeah,
just for now, it's gonna be slow.
yeah, yeah. Take it. I mean, it's nothing wrong with setting high goals, but set some mini goals to get there.
Exactly. Like you can have definitely one massive ultimate goal. Like what is for me, hopefully, like one of my ultimate goals is to hopefully one day be able to collab with someone from like Hololive or some
Yeah,
shit like that. You know?
which would
But
be
just for now, I want to just like start off with just some basic stuff. Getting the lore figured out, getting the whole systems figured out, and just slowly building there first before I'm just hopping in.
uh, both both feet and hands going in at the same time in the deep end. Go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, folks,
It's just yeah, it's sorry.
just just what they call it, cannonball right on in.
Oh yeah, just belly flop into the Mariana Trench. You'll be
Oh,
fine.
yeah, you'll be
He in
fine.
fact was not fine.
Yeah, you'll probably make it about it. 1 millionth of the way down before the shark gets you. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, you like sharks? That'll be fine. Uh, uh,
Oh yeah, you like sharks. Say hello to the megalodon down there.
yeah, yeah. Say hi for you. You might as well. What else you gonna do? But
Yeah, exactly.
we have all the links for Flood on the description for this interview, and folks, check out the kaiju and see how Flood is doing, and help out a little bit. And really a delight to talk with you, and I hope that things continue to go your way with this. You got a great attitude to it, and I'd love to see a lot of success for you in the future.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.